Hello, welcome to June 2024. My name is Lynette and I'm reading in the Learning by Design section of the June 2024 issue of the Love Exquisite Magazine, which you can access for free at loveexquisitellc.com. And the article that I'm reading is titled Trauma Bonds. This one is deep. A lot of us have it. A lot of us have trauma bonds and we don't know we don't title them as such, but I'm going to break it down so you can see if you are one of those people who too has had or have trauma bonds that you need to break. I know I do, and I know I did. So these articles actually help me as I'm inspired to write them every month. So thank you, God, for the word that I give to you. So again, trauma bonds. Please pay attention. This one's good. Through our life experiences, we have to be careful that we do not form trauma bonds. Trauma bonds can be formed in different ways. Some people form trauma bonds through a shared traumatic experience with someone else, means that they can relate, it's relatability. And some people form trauma bonds through feeling sorry for someone, like empathy, through empathy and compassion. And some people form trauma bonds through being helped in some way, like a codependency. So the trauma bonds are like this. So you might say, well, I can relate to somebody because I've been abused in a relationship and this person has been abused in a relationship and I know what it feels like. And so you form an unhealthy bond with this person. Or you might say, okay, I feel sorry for this person. They're always coming to me for with their problems, and I have empathy and compassion for them, and I don't want to leave them because I don't want to hurt them or something. It's a trauma bond, especially when the relationship is not a good one to hold on to. So also some people form trauma bonds through being helped in some way. And that means, like, if a person does something for you, you may say, I'm indebted to this person, or I owe this person my life, or whatever it is that you may feel you owe the person. You might feel like, okay, I need to, I'm always going to be there for this person, even if this person is not good to me or for me anymore. That is a trauma bond. And then this person say, well, I need you, or they make you feel guilty about letting go when you need to let go. It's a codependency that the both of you now develop through a trauma bond. So that's what it is. So in spite of how trauma bonds are formed, it is not always a good way to form bonds. I should say it's not always good. Let me start over. It's not always, these are unedited, as you already know. It's not good to form trauma bonds. It's not. Anything that has trauma attached to it, it's not good to form a bond to that trauma. So in spite of how trauma bonds are formed, it is not always a good way to form a bond with someone. It is not always a good way to form a bond with someone, because oftentimes, even when we should leave the person that you formed a trauma bond with, your unhealed heart, the key word is unhealed, your unhealed heart and mind will try to convince you to stay. You will try to convince yourself that you are okay with the situation as is, when in fact you know that you want and need and deserve more. So for example, you might be in with someone as a side piece. You might be in a relationship where you're the side piece without, and you, what you don't know that you're doing. So without you knowing that you are in fact helping the marriage or the relationship last longer. Why? Because of your presence. Your presence there in that space. It doesn't give them the opportunity to actually look at each other and say, this is what I'm missing, because you're filling in that gap. Hello. So again, you could be that side piece. and you don't even know that you're helping the marriage or the relationship last longer, because your presence that is there when he or she needs you to fill in the gap of what they might be missing in their marriage or relationship. So perhaps if you left the environment, you will force that couple to actually look at each other and how unhappy they truly are with each other when the gaps are not filled in. And then maybe they'll eventually leave the person that he or she is unhappy with. And then you would actually have to then ask yourself, if they left the person for you, you have to ask yourself honestly, would you want to then be in a relationship with someone who would cheat on their partner? Because they will eventually cheat on you. You know, somebody told me before, they said, if you're a side joint, or a side joint, as they would say in Philly, there's always no side joint is ever the only side joint. So if somebody's messing with you, 9 times out of 10, this is what they do. There's somebody else that they're messing with. So you have to keep that in mind as well. So they feel, so while you are filling in the hole, they are feeling whole within their marriage, which means they usually tend to stay longer. Excuse me. So it's easier to get distracted by outside influences that can cause you to overlook what you should be paying attention to. Trauma bonds are usually bonds that people tend to make up excuses as to why they cannot or should not break them, especially if the person has not healed from the trauma. So when they have not healed, they tend to feel a comfort level there in the trauma, or a false sense of safety. Why, you ask? Because trauma understands entrapment. Woo-wee! Trauma understands entrapment. You got to just think about it. Just think about it. You're trapped in a trauma bond, and because people tend to make you feel like you belong there, or nobody gonna love you like I do, nobody gonna treat you like I do, nobody gonna be there for you like I'm there for you, or I need you, don't leave me, or I love you, it's gonna work out, or I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that, just be patient. Whatever it is that you're hearing, or you feel, say, or I would never cheat on you, or I would never do this, or if the situation was different, or if it wasn't for the children, blah blah blah, whatever that is that keeps you somewhere where you deserve to be treated in a better way, or you deserve more. You have to be honest with yourself about what it is that you are doing, how it's making you feel, and what you really want out of your life. Stop letting other people control your life. It's your life to live, not theirs. So you have to be the one making the decision. You have to be the one pulling the strings. You, not anyone else. So if I can get you to feel like you owe me something because of something that I have done for you, you begin to believe that you will be forever indebted to me, making it harder for you to realize when it is time to let go. So besides, you probably already done paid the debt. You already done paid the debt time and time again, everything that you've probably already done for people in your life. So you don't owe anybody anything. So don't keep letting people hold you back from your healing, because when you're stuck in the trauma, guess what you're not doing? You're not healing. And it's almost impossible for you to heal as long as you are stuck in a trauma bond. There's no way that you can heal. There's no way. So you got to really pay attention to what's really going on. You really do. You got to really pay attention to what's going on, because people will have you all messed up if you let them. They make it harder for you to want to let go. And you probably, like I said, you don't owe them anything. What it is now is you owe you the happiness that you truly deserve. So don't keep letting people hold you back from your healing. Don't keep holding yourself back from healing. So if you're stuck in a depressive state and you wonder why you cannot overcome depression, consider the environment that you keep putting yourself into. So be honest about what it is that that you're in. Be honest about what it is. Is it a real love type situation? Is real love there? Is mistreatment there? Is genuine honesty there? Or is deception there? Are you settling there? Are unhealthy actions and behaviors there? Are you getting what you truly want there? Are you truly happy there? Are you really, really happy? You have to ask yourself that. You cannot fully be happy if you are still struggling with depression while you're there, while you're in these trauma bonds. So did you ever stop to consider that that could be why you're struggling with overcoming depression? Your environment and the situations that you can constantly put yourself into. If you are truly not getting what you want from wherever your trauma bonds are, it could be that the trauma bonds are keeping you back and preventing you from healing and growth. Sometimes, again, people will try to make you feel guilty about breaking a trauma bond because it is usually to their advantage to keep using you for their own selfish gain. This is why it is so important to be honest with yourself about what's really going on and what you really deserve, and how what is going on is impacting your life in a negative way. You got to be honest with yourself. Don't keep saying, "Oh, I don't care. I don't care. It doesn't matter to me," or, "I don't have feelings anymore," or, "My heart is not there," and all of this stuff. But yet you can't overcome depression and you don't know why. It is your trauma bond. That's why. Be honest. Be honest about it. It's the only way that you're going to heal and grow. It's also easy to overlook and mistreat people who might come into your life and treat you better and help towards your healing process when you are stuck in trauma bonds. So we're not getting any younger. I don't know about you, but I know I'm not. I got more years behind me than I have ahead of me, as my pastor would say. So each day that passes by, we have more days behind us than we have ahead of us. So it is way past time to start making better decisions with your life and who you decide to spend your life with. This will require you to break any of your trauma bonds. It is okay to get rid of your past, especially when it's not beneficial to your future. It now don't get me wrong, it will not be easy at first because, like I said, I had trauma bonds and I have trauma bond. So this is ministering to me and it's allowing me to make a decision to say today, and I hope you will join me in this, I am done with my attachment to trauma bonds. Done. So if I'm moving different, y'all, if you are one of those trauma bonds that I've been holding on to and you wonder why I'm not answering your phone calls, I'm not responding to your text messages, and I'm not spending time with you no more, it's because I've decided to choose me first and heal me first so that I can be a better person to the next man that I engage in a relationship with. And I cannot do that and fairly give him a fair chance if I'm holding on to any type of trauma bond. And so I can't expect from him what I'm not willing to give myself. So that's real talk, that's real talk. So I hope that you do the same thing. You got to be honest with yourself. And again, it's not going to be easy because misery loves company. So people will try to keep you in their lives for their own personal gain, to their advantage, not yours. So you have to be the driving force behind what you decide to do with your life. You have to be the one who draws the line to get what you really want from your life. And stop lying to yourself about the trauma bonds and how they are impacting you and impacting your relationships. Because again, if you're holding on to trauma bonds, you're affecting your ability to move forward with someone else. So cut people off who really shouldn't be in your life anyway. Breaking trauma bonds is not always easy. However, if you follow these steps below in the magazine, you could be on your way to finally healing from the traumatic experiences and that trauma bond. Finally breaking those trauma bonds. I'm going to say this again because I want you to get this because it is so true. You cannot heal without breaking unhealthy trauma bonds. You cannot heal. You cannot fully heal. So you might say, well, Lynette, how can I break my trauma bond? I'm so glad you asked. Take my advice. So seek counsel for healthy healing and be serious about it. Take your life serious because life is not a game to be played. Life is not a game to be played. You have to take your life more serious and stop wasting time. So even if you have to be alone for a period of time until you feel whole and healthy in your oneness, in your singleness, do it for yourself. So that's one thing. You got to seek counsel. So the second thing is take the first step towards breaking the trauma bond and do not let people make you feel guilty about cutting them off. So whatever is hindering your growth and progress for moving forward, you have to let it go. Tell your story. This is number 3. Tell your story. Tell the story to yourself. You don't have to tell it to anybody else because sometimes we don't like to be honest about what's really going on in our lives. But if you don't be honest with anybody else, be honest with yourself. Be honest with yourself about what is really going on in your life. What trauma are you in? And what is really going on in those spaces? What are the people or person doing in their own personal lives? How are they living? And how is it affecting you? How is how they're living affecting you? Would you want someone that you care about to treat you the same way that they're treating you? This person that you just gotta hold on to. How are they really treating you? Are you first in their life? Or are you second or third or 13th? Ask yourself and be honest with that. Like, you be honest with that. How do you feel about it? You okay with that? I doubt it. So be honest with yourself. Again, another one is to disconnect from communicating with people who are a part of your traumatic experiences as much as possible so that you can move on without him or her and begin to heal. Healing is such an important part of life. It is. So another thing is to be honest with yourself. I can't reiterate. Honesty is how you can heal from anything. You got to be honest about what it is that you're feeling and why and how you can make yourself feel better. So be honest with yourself about what it is that is unhealthy. What are you holding on to, and why would anybody want to hold on to a trauma bond? Yes, it is relatable. Yes, it might feel comfortable. It has a false sense of safety there. But in the end, you're hurting yourself because you deserve better than that. You deserve more than that. You deserve to be out of a traumatic experience and not let it keep festering and festering and festering that, and it creates somebody in you that other people don't like or don't care to be around. So it changes who you are at the core if you stay around people that you have a trauma bond connection to. It changes your behaviors and the way you think about other people. So you really don't want to do that to yourself or anyone else. So again, be honest with yourself about what it is that is unhealthy for you to hold on to and why you really need to walk away, even if it's the hardest thing to do. Again, remove yourself from the toxic environment and unhealthy environments and know that it is beneficial to your healing process. And you cannot fully heal until after you fully let go. So look at the person for who they show you that they truly are and not for what you hope them to be. So ask yourself and be honest. Is this person their true self and their authenticity and what they show you they are? Are they somebody you would even want to deal with on a romantic level? 9 times out of 10, The answer is no. So let go of that comfort and that false sense of safety that you feel, and be honest with yourself about really who is this human being and how are they living their life. Are they being deceptive? Are they being honest? Are they trustworthy? Are they respectful? Or what are their personality characteristics, and what are you looking for? Are you looking for those type of personality characteristics? Be honest with yourself. That's all I'm asking you to do. Be honest with yourself. Ask yourself and be honest. Is that the type of person you really need in your life, or what you want in your life? And be strong. Well, the answer is no. Be strong enough to walk away. You will be fine. You'll be fine. You'll be okay. This too shall pass. Another one is to forgive yourself and release yourself from any trauma bond. Don't keep putting yourself back into the trauma and pretending, oh, I'm heartless. I don't have feelings anymore. Be honest with yourself. So once the trauma bond is broken, never look back and don't chain yourself to it again. If you are in a trauma bond and that trauma bond is holding you back from moving on and being happy and whole and living a more fulfilling life, you need to let go of what no longer serves you. So today, I pray for you. I pray for you. I pray that every trauma bond is broken in your life. And I pray that you begin to pray for yourself, asking God to heal, set free, deliver, protect, provide, and save you from your trauma bonds, and that you never return to them, and save you from yourself, because sometimes we need to be saved from ourselves so we don't keep making the same mistakes over and over again, so that you can finally live the life that you deserve to live, trauma and drama free. Eliminate those trauma bonds in your life today. Follow me, because I'm doing it. I want you to do it too.